All right, here we go, guys. Day two. Hope you guys are having a restful week. Let's go over our homework. All right, so the lesson was 9.7b for the homework. It was a worksheet. As yesterday, here are the answers. I need you to check your answers against your worksheet and then go pause the video, go to Google Forms, and answer question number one, which is how many did you get wrong? As always with these videos, you can pause, you can rewind, play it as many times as you need to. Obviously, since there aren't kids here and getting immediate feedback, I might talk a little bit too fast, so make good use of the pause button and rewind. All right, here's where we're at. We're about to finish chapter 9 today. We will do, it says chapter 10 review. That's a mistake. It should say chapter 9 review. We'll review chapter 9 tomorrow. We'll do it together, unlike what we normally do, and then we'll jump right into chapter 10. If everything goes well, we'll see each other again after spring break, and we'll do CMAS prep and then move on from there. Here's your homework. It will be a worksheet. You will find a link to it at the bottom of the Google Forms page. Worksheet 9.8. All right, here we go. Today we're going to be doing spheres. I'm not sure why they don't give you volume of spheres and then they do surface area like they do with the other shapes, but they keep spheres to the very end and then you do both volume and surface area of spheres. Both of these formulas are very, very ugly to do by hand. All right, so we're basically just going to calculate the surface area and volume of a sphere today. All right, write this down, please. A sphere. A sphere is drawn in the following manner. Draw a circle. Through the middle of the circle, I want you to draw basically what you would call an oval. We would call it in math terms an ellipse. And usually for three-dimensional objects, we make a dotted line around what you would not normally see. Therefore, the sphere should look something like that. That's how you draw a sphere. It's a circle with an ellipse or an oval. Okay, in your notes, write down the following definition. A sphere is the collection of points in three dimensions that are equal distance from a given point. Remember, a circle is the collection of points on a plane that are the same distance away from a given point. A sphere just extends that into three dimensions. So given a point, 5 centimeters away in all directions from that given point would make a sphere. And just like a circle, the circle is the round portion, the sphere is the surface, not the inside. Okay. So draw me a sphere again, one more time. We're going to label the parts now. All right, now we are dealing with three dimensions, right? So it's a little tricky to draw these sometimes, but a sphere has basically the same parts as a circle. So a circle has a center, a sphere has a center. A circle has a diameter, a sphere has a diameter. A circle has a radius. Well, remember we're drawing in three dimensions now, so a radius would come off from the center to the surface of the sphere. Okay, so when you draw this, some of the radii look like they're different measurements, but remember they all represent the same distance because you're going from the center to the surface itself. Okay, so those are the parts. We're going to be doing two things today. There are two objectives: is to calculate the surface area and to calculate the volume. So it turns out that both of these formulas are really hard to explain where they come from without using some calculus, and I'm certainly not going to use calculus. Okay, I will try to give you at the end of class a basic explanation of where the volume comes from. But we're just going to write down the formulas, and I'll give you the basic explanation at the very end of where they come from. So the first one we'll do is surface area. So write this down, please. So it turns out that the surface area of any sphere is 4 times pi times radius squared. Okay? So it sort of looks like area. In fact, it's 4 times the area of a circle. Kind of hard to imagine that's the formula, but that's the formula. All right, also write down the area formula. The area formula is going to be 4/3 times pi r, not squared this time, but cubed. Remember, we've done all that work with our calculators to show you where the caret key is. Some calculators do have a cube button, x to the third power. Many don't. I know the iPhone on its calculator has a cube button. The calculators that I give you in class only have a square button. They don't have a cube button. So you would have to use the caret key to get to the radius cubed. But the cool thing is, just like the area formula, there's only one variable, the radius. In fact, the only way I can mess with you is for me to give you the diameter instead of the radius. Take half of the diameter, that'll give you a radius. All right, so let's do some these will be messy, okay? Let's do some calculations. All right, so there's a sphere. Well, I know it's a sphere because it says it's a sphere, and it looks like the radius is 2 centimeters. So if I were to calculate surface area, step 1, as always, write the formula. Step number 2, plug in the values. Well, the value here for the radius is 2 centimeters. Following PEMDAS, we need to do exponents before we do anything else. 2 to the second power, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16, so it's 16 times pi. And just like we did with surface area, we would like to always keep pi as pi until we need to multiply or add. In this case, we're multiplying. So let's see, 16 times 3.14, now that's an approximation, would be 50. So 50, now we're doing surface area, not volume yet. We'll do area in a second. So surface area is measured in square units, so 50 square centimeters. Now I'm rounding to the nearest whole number there. That makes sense? If not, pause the video, rewind it, play it again. The volume calculation, once again, the formula is the most unpretty of all that we do, maybe except for the trapezoid. So it says 4/3 pi r cubed. So we're going to plug in the only value we need, which is the radius. So that's 2 to the third power. That's 2 times 2 times 2. Well, let's see. 2 times 2 times 2 would be 8, not 6. It's 2 times 2 times 2. So we would get 8. Let's see. 8 times 4/3. Well, we need to make it into a fraction. Multiply straight across. So we get 32 over 3 times 3.14. Notice I put approximately. So take your calculators. We multiply 32 times 3.14 and divide that whole thing by 3. I'm going to round to the nearest unit. I'm getting 33 cubic centimeters because we're doing volume. Okay. Now, I always do this for all the classes just to show you what calculus looks like. Where does the formula for volume come from? It comes from all those little squiggles right there. And at the end, check out, it says okay, but it gets at 4/3 pi r cubed. Clearly above our level right now, but that's where the formula comes from a math called calculus, which if you stay in math, you'll eventually get to calculus, and they'll teach that to you then. All right. Okay, so for us, we just need to have the two formulas and just plug in the numbers. All right, 8th grade's cool, and 7th grade. So let's see, volume and surface area. Let's do surface area first. Is that a radius or diameter? Isaiah, what is that, radius or diameter? Yeah, that's a radius. All right, good job. Okay, so we're going to do radius of 4 centimeters. We're doing surface area, so that's 4 pi r squared. So we plug in 4. That's not 4 times 2. Adrian, what is it? Yeah, that's 16. So 16 is 4 squared. 16 times 4, 64. Once again, when I'm talking fast, pause the video each step or rewind it. And Kaylee, 64 times pi, right? Remember that'd be 3.14 times 64. That gives us about 201. I'm going to go around all my ones to the nearest unit here. So 201 square centimeters. Cool? All right, well, it says we got to do volume as well, too, so let's do volume. The radius is, so it's volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. The radius is 4. 4 to the third power would be 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, times another 4 is 64. Right, 64 is a fraction. Multiply straight across. 4 times 64 is 256. So we get 256 over 3 times 3.14. Approximation because we're rounding for pi. Let's see, calculator. 256 times 3.14 divided by 3. All that equals 268 cubic centimeters. So the actual, I don't know, the calculation without a calculator is challenging. With a calculator, just punch in the correct numbers and you'll get to the right answer. So this is a class on the use of the formulas, not a class on a whole bunch of calculations. All right. What am I trying to do here? Yeah, I'm trying to trick you. Box 5, write this one down, please. Yeah, I am trying to trick you right here. Why? Because I'm giving you a diameter, not a radius. All right. So go ahead and try to figure this out on your own. Answer the question. This will be, what is the volume of the sphere? I'm doing volume, not surface area. What is the volume of the sphere in box number 5? So pause the video, get to an answer, write it in the Google Forms, and then come back and check your work. Okay, let's see how you did. Well, we know that the radius was 5, not 10. So 5 cubed would be 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, times another 5 is 125. 125 times 4 is 1570, all divided by 3. Okay? 1570 divided by 3 is approximately 523. So how many of you guys got that one right? Good, good. Well, that's volume. Let's do the same thing with the same sphere, except this time for surface area. Okay? So let's do this one with surface area. Same thing. Pause the video, get to an answer the Google Forms for box 6, and then come back and hit the play, and let's see if you got it right. All right, let's see if you got it right. Well, the trick here is to know that that is not a radius, that is a diameter. The formula is 4 pi r squared. The radius is 5. Why? Because it's half of 10. 5 squared is 25. 25 times 4 is 100. And 100 times pi is about 3.14. That's 314, sorry. So 314 square centimeters. Feeling confident? All right. Let's do about 2 more together. All right. Let's see. This one's asking us for volume of the sphere, and we're told that the radius is 14. All right. Go ahead and work through the calculations. Try to get ahead of me. All right. So we need to write 4/3 pi times 14 cubed. Now, could you do this with a for my 8th graders? Sure, you could use parentheses, 4 divided by 3, close parentheses, times pi, times 14 to the 3rd power. For my 7th graders, you got to do this using PEMDAS. So we got to do 14 to the 3rd power first. That's a big number, 2,744. Times 4 divided by 3. Remember, we're putting it over 1. Times 4 divided by 3. With a dumb calculator, you'd have to do 10,976 divided by 3 times 3.14. All right, what'd you guys get? I got 11,488 cubic feet. What'd you get? All right, cool. All right, let's do the surface area, surface area, surface area. Okay, so the formula for surface area is 4 pi r squared. You should be doing this, not listening to me. You should be doing this. Pick up your pencils and do this, please. Okay, so let's see. 4 pi r squared. 4 pi r squared. All right, so the radius here is 14. Not trying to trick anyone here. With a smart calculator, scientific calculator, you just type it in as it appears. With a dumb calculator, you got to do PEMDAS. Let's see. 14 squared would be 196. 196 times 4 would be 748. Make use of the pause button if I'm going too fast. And 784 times 3.14 is approximately 2,462. And we're doing surface area here, so square feet. Okay. Last thing of the, well, it's the second to last thing of the day. Here's one all by yourself. I want you to find both the surface area and sphere. Pause the video, answer in Google Forms for the surface area and the sphere of box 9, and then play the video and see if you got the right answer. All right, how'd you guys do? All right, who's got the answer for surface area? Who's got the answer for surface area? Anna, what'd you get? Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's see if that's right. All right. Okay, so surface area 4 is equal to pi r squared. 4 A is equal to 4 times pi r squared. Sorry about that. All right. I'm not fooling you here. I'm giving you the actual radius, 10 centimeters. 10 squared is 100. 100 times 4 is 400 pi. Let's see, 400 times 3.14 is approximately 1,256 square centimeters. Good job, guys. Last one is a volume. Who's got this one? Rylan, wake up. Josh, what'd you get? What'd you get? Oh, good job. Good job. All right, let's see. Everyone else, let's see how we got that number. So it's 4/3 pi r cubed. Pi r cubed. Well, the radius here is 10. Radius here is 10. 10 to the third power is not 10 times 3. What is it, Aiden? Aiden, what is it? 10 to the third power. Yeah, 10 times 10 times 10. That would be 1,000. 1,000 times 4 is 4,000, so we get 4,000 over 3. 4,000 times 3.14 divided by 3 is approximately 4,187 cubic centimeters. Okay. All right. Now I do have one little, I don't know if this is, you would consider this a treat. I do have one little problem to do to end up the day. So turns out the radius of the Earth is close to 4,000 miles. That means from the center of the Earth to the surface, anywhere along the surface of the Earth, it's about approximately 4,000 miles. Wikipedia says 3,968 approximately miles. Okay, so what's the volume of the Earth in cubic miles? Well, we can do that calculation now. The Earth is almost a perfect sphere. It's not. It's a little squished in the top and the bottom, but it's almost a perfect sphere. So all we got to do is plug that number. With a calculator, this isn't too bad. If you plug that number, right, Haven, check my math for me. If you plug that number, 3,968, into the formula with a calculator, you should get that. Let's see, what is that? That's 1,000, 100,000, millions, billions. So 262 billion cubic miles is the volume of the Earth in cubic miles. Cool? All right. All right, thanks for your attention. Thanks for your hard work. Hey, let's not be lazy out there, right? Let's be good students and do what we're supposed to do. Your worksheet can be found at the bottom of the Google Forms. Once again, thanks for your attention, and I will see you guys tomorrow.